Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Molly and this is Short Studios. Today I kind of wanted to take a look at how I came up with the business name, as well as the business logo and a few other bits and bobs around it. I thought it'd be cool to give everybody like a little insight into how I came up with everything for the business when I very first started it and as I continue to start it right now. The fact is I still have pretty much everything I did when I was originally coming up with all the initial ideas, and I was like, well, I need to come up with a name for the business that I want to start. I already had Molly Fit Photography at the time, which was kind of just where I posted occasionally. I'm like, hey, here are my photos, have a look at them, there you go. But I was like, well, I want to do something a bit different to that, though that name is on this list. I've got Molly Fits Photography, MP Photography, Fits Photography, and I was like, well, you know, I'm Molly, like, you know, use your name. The more names I came up with, the more I came up with the idea of like, I don't want something that's going to narrow me down into a corner, and that's something that I really don't want to happen with the business. Yes, there's probably going to be areas that I'm going to focus more on than others, but I don't want to be, I'm only going to do this. Whereas I wanted to have something where I can go, you know what, I'm going to focus on this, but I can also do this and this and this. I know some people might think I'm a bit crazy for trying to do too much, but at the same time, I enjoy it all, so why don't I do it? The first thing I did, as I said, was write down name ideas. So some of the first name ideas I had were, like I said, Molly Fit Photography, MP Photography. I had Mediography, trying to mix media and photography together. I had Mollography, because you know, Molly and photography. Moments, exposure, pixel or pixels. And then I got to a point where I was like, I know what I want to do. I want something studios. I thought this kind of sounded quite professional, you know, something studios, you know, massive studio of one person. But I thought it opened me up to having the wide variety of things that I want to do. Then I was like, well, could do Pixel Studios, digital studios, focus studios, shutter studios, click studios, digital studios, lens studios, capture studios, zoom studios. I was like, yeah, this is what I want. I want to have something studios. When I chose to do Shutter Studios, it just clicked. It felt right. It had the double S, so it kind of flowed quite nicely, Shutter Studios. And it also kind of like incorporated it's got the studios, it's got that like big variety that I want, but it's also Shutter. It's to do with cameras, it's to do with technology. Like, yes, I do a lot of design work. If you follow me on social media, you'll see a link in the description below. Yeah, I do a lot of design work, and actually starting up Shutter Studios has made my love for design come back. Being able to draw again, which I lost back in GCSE art, I lost my passion for drawing, and it's actually a thing that I've done quite a lot of. But it also gave me the chance to go, Shutter Studio, shutter of a camera, bingo. So I first just came up with a load of initial ideas, just a load of little sketches. I did nothing great, nothing too fancy. They do look a bit bad. But it was just from Googling and researching and going, right, what do I see in my head? Through doing all them initial ideas, I then decided to go, right, I'm going to narrow this down. And so I picked out the few that I liked, or the elements of some that I liked, and was like, right, I'm going to draw these again, but in more detail, cleaner looking, a bit better design, really. So then I kept narrowing down and expanding the idea, and eventually I kind of got stuck between two decisions. Having a circle or having a triangle. Upon expanding and trying out new things, I even had to go at like how I would colour it or how I'd add a background to it. But yeah, I was still stuck between a circle and a triangle. After I'd kind of chose the name of Shutter Studios, I then was like, I need a font. And I tried a lot. I tried a lot of different fonts and different things, and I eventually narrowed it down to about 3, I believe. And basically after asking my family like which one looks better, I came to a decision, and to be fair, I think this was the one that I liked the best, and it's the font you see on the logo today. After choosing finally between a circle and a triangle, you would have thought this decision would have been easy, but I believe it wasn't. I wanted to decide where the name was going to fit within the logo, if at all. So I tried a few different placement ideas on what would look cool, putting the logo inside the name, putting the name in the logo. Different ways to experiment to see what works, what doesn't work. After going through a few different ideas, I was like, I prefer the placement within the circle. I thought it just flowed quite nicely. So then I wanted to experiment with the idea of having a background, because I didn't really just want a black logo. I wanted there to be something more to it. I wanted there to be some creativity behind it. So I did quite a few different experimentations of it. There were a few that I did really like when I was doing this experimentation. We've got one with a yellow brushstroke behind it. I thought that was kind of cool. It had that lit painty feel, the design aspect. Two with different watercolory kind of brush effects on them, which again I thought, oh, these look kind of cool. We had different versions of a paint splat. Again, obviously that's what I ended up doing, but I was like, what different ways could I even do this? I then started to experiment with some banner ideas for like YouTube, Facebook, the website. Again, with all the different ideas I had just come off from. It was like, let's just see what works and what doesn't work and how I can show the logo in a bigger sense. So out of all the ideas, I like the paint splat the best. Because I was like, well, it kind of has that artistic feel, it has the creativity behind it, and I just liked it the most. But I didn't know what colours I wanted. So I then did a lot of different design ideas with a load of different colours. Trying different colours, seeing what colour schemes I liked the most and what I didn't. After doing many different colour schemes on just the logo, I then started to do different colour schemes and different ways on the banners. I even tried banners with a black background rather than the paint splats being the colour, it was the background that was the colour. I just wanted to try many different things to see what would actually work. So after a while, after quite a few experimentations, I kind of narrowed it down to about 10 different colour patterns. I know, 10, like really, that's narrowing it down? Yeah, I know. And then I was like, well, I'll do all of these with a plain white banner, Shutter Studios, and the logo in the middle. Then after doing that, I did the paint splat background with the different colours going off the colour theme that I'd done for the logo design. Then after quite a few experimentations later, I was like, you know what, I like the rainbow. I like the rainbow the most. It just sort of just screamed to me, this is artistic, this is creative, this is paint. I tried a few different banner ideas. I tried the plain banner, a full paint splat banner. I tried a black and white splat banner for some reason. I tried different block colours. And at the end of the day, I was like, well, yeah, I want the rainbow. I just need to figure out quite how I'm going to do it. And then eventually I had the logo. I had the logo without the splats, and I had the logo with the splats. I had the logo with the name, and I had the logo without the name. And to be fair, I use all of these now, dependent on what it is I'm going to use it for. I'd figured out the logo, I'd figured out the house style, I'd figured out what Shutter Studios was. After I'd figured out the logo, I then had to figure out the banner, because obviously I needed this for my social media and my website. I then came up with the two ideas of the plain white background and the paint splat background. Now I do use both of these. I don't use the plain background as much, but I still use it. After figuring out my branding, I made a watermark for my photos and my designs that I placed online, because if somebody was to see it and go, oh, who's done this? You know. But somewhere on a photo or design that I've done, you'll see the little watermark as the logo, and it says Shutter Studios next to it. Another thing that I did want to design was a business card, and this again had quite a few different stages of what it was going to look like. I came up with multiple different designs, again, like I did with the logo, multiple different designs using my house style that I'd created, and going, right, which one do I like the look of the most? After doing quite a few, I narrowed it down to a couple and was like, right, which one do I like, which elements do I like? After many different attempts and narrowing downs, we then got the business card that I hold right here in my hand right now. Alright, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. That is pretty much an insight onto how I came up with the name and the logo for Shutter Studios. I thought it'd be pretty cool to give a little bit of an insight into how I did come up with all of this and how my brain went, well, let's just draw a load of stuff and see what happens. We do now have a store, shutterstudios.co.uk/store. If you could go ahead and check it out, much appreciated. The link will be in the description below. If there is any other videos you want to see me do, or any questions you have, do comment them down below in the comment section and I will make sure to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please make sure to hit that like button if you have enjoyed this video, and remember to hit that red subscribe button as well. Good old technical error, I just had a scare that I'd lost about half that video. Luckily, the camera stopped recording right as I was finishing the video. Well, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.